In these uncertain economic times, it's easy to be worried about protecting your wealth, your hard-earned savings, and your family's financial future. Plunging interest rates, the devaluating dollar, and political unrest constantly threaten what you have worked hard to earn and all that you own. That's why now it's more important than ever to protect your assets and have the money you need to make your dreams come true. Welcome to the Global Wealth Fortress Report with successful global entrepreneur and wealth preservation expert Joel Nagel. Joel's helped thousands of people just like you protect what you have so that you can make even more and make your every dream come true. So, sit back and enjoy Joel Nagel's offshore expert advice on how you can live the good life at a great price, where the sun never sets on your financial fortress.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Global Wealth Fortress Report. I'm Joel Nagel and I'm coming to you today from the Prodder Amusement Park, which is right at the tip of the Greater Prodder Park, which was started in 1766. It was gifted to the people by the Austrian Emperor and was turned into an area for recreation right in the middle of the city. The amusement park itself only takes up maybe 10 acres, but the other, there's several thousand acres that go on behind it as hiking and biking and every kind of field imaginable from, soccer and rugby, lacrosse, field hockey, American football, American baseball. It really just goes on and on and on. So, yeah, it's really a tremendous place to be. And as I mentioned in the last episode, they're getting ready to build the Oktoberfest tent literally right where I'm sitting. So in a day or so, I'm not going to be able to film in this spot. And it's such a great spot that I didn't want to let the day go by without filming this episode. In the last episode, I was talking a little bit about the fact that virtually all countries have some kind of residency or citizenship program based on investment. The investment gives you preference. It gives you a shortcut. It reduces the time to citizenship. It does something. And the idea is that the investor is bringing something to the table that the country needs, like investment capital, creating jobs, hiring employees, whatever it is. And in return, they get sort of a special deal. And, even the United States has a program like this. It's the EB-5 and the E-2 investor visas. And they're really the quickest way to get green cards, except for marrying an American citizen. And some people will tell you that, well, this is a new phenomenon, but it's really not. This type of citizenship by investment has been around for literally thousands of years. If you want, take a look in your Bible and the book of Acts. You'll see in the book of Acts that the Apostle Paul is out preaching the gospel, and he's captured by an angry mob, and he's turned over to some Roman soldiers, and he's about to be flogged. And as they're tearing his shirt off and tying him to a pole, he asks sort of rhetorically, hey, is it legal for you to beat a Roman citizen who hasn't even been tried? And the one Roman, asks kind of in shock, you're a Roman citizen? He says, yes, I am. Says where he was born. And the other Roman captain said, I had to pay a lot of money to get my citizenship. So you can see, this is 2,000 years ago, and people are making the comment that they paid money for their citizenship. So there's lots of ways you can get citizenship. You can be born in a country. You can, have ancestral links and ties. You can move there. You can go through the residency process, or you can take one of these shortcuts and make an investment, or in some cases, you can support philanthropy. In other cases, just write an outright check, and you clear a background check, and you're in. And so those programs are very popular. We've been talking about those. I mentioned yesterday I was going to talk specifically about Cyprus. Cyprus is a country I really love. It has a Greek feel to it, but obviously it was it was most recently a British colony before it became independent. It's an ancient historic land. Some of the earliest known humans discoveries have been on the island of Cyprus, and they have two wonderful programs I'm just going to talk about. They have a residency program that starts at 300,000 euros, and they have a investment program for direct citizenship. Now it's a little pricey. It's 2 million euros, but it's not a payment to the government the way Malta and some of the other countries' programs are, but rather it's an investment. So if you have the capital and you can afford to buy a piece of real estate at that level or higher, that can qualify you for citizenship. That is your property forever. You can use it, you can rent it. Within a few years you can sell it, get your money back off the table. So that's that program. Now the residence program is much cheaper. It's 300,000 instead of 2 million, but the residence program will only be converted from residence to citizenship if you go and live there. If you don't live there, no problem. You're going to get your residency card. You can come and go as much as you want. You can travel around Europe as much as you want. You know, you have all of the privileges of a European person, but you don't have the actual citizenship, meaning you don't have a passport. Some people don't care about the passport. Maybe they have other passports. They have a good passport. They don't really care. But if you come from a country with a terrible passport, let's say China, Russia, some of these other countries, you know, if they apply for a Cypriot passport and they get it, then not only can they live and work anywhere in Europe, but they can travel to the United States very easily. So they don't have to worry about, you know, long lines in, you know, consulate offices in Beijing and Moscow. Now, this has never been an issue in the past for Americans, but since the advent of coronavirus, we've seen more and more Americans also looking at the Cyprus program. Again, it's a very fast program. Once you pass the background check and decide on the property, your citizenship is processed within 90 days. I really don't know of any program that's faster than that. Most reputable developers will allow you to put the money for the purchase in escrow, and if for whatever reason your citizenship is turned down, then the contract is canceled and you get your money back. So there's no risk in that sense. Now I get the fact that the 2 million euros is a lot of money, and many people that watch this video won't be able to afford that. But the 300,000 is really one of the lowest out there for residents. It's it's very compatible with, let's say, Greece, which is 250,000, and with Portugal. I went through the various Portuguese options, which range from 280,000 up to 500,000. So Cyprus is really good in that regard. I really love it. It's a wonderful place, a wonderful culture, great weather. You can see we're having great weather here in Austria today, but as we come upon mid-September, the weather's going to change pretty fast. We've spent a lot of time in Cyprus, late into the fall. The winter isn't quite as warm as places like Florida, but with a sweater, it gets down into the 50s, maybe the 60s. Then it bounces right back. Very pleasant. Most of the year around is very temperate. It has a lot of sunshine, and I really, really love it as a country, and highly recommend it for people looking for a fast second passport that they can qualify for without a lot of bureaucracy. Again, you do have to pass a background check. They're not going to take you if you've had any major criminal conviction, any kind of felony, something like that. They're not going to accept you. But otherwise, you're pretty good to go. And as long as you make that investment, you can qualify either at the residence level, 300,000 euros, or the citizenship level, 2 million. So I hope that you enjoyed this segment about Cyprus. There's also a companion article that goes into a lot more detail about the Cyprus citizenship by investment. I hope you'll click on that. There's also several reports that you can click on that you can get for free if you have more interest in this subject. Tomorrow I'm going to finish out this initial series on residence and citizenship by investment, and I'm going to be talking about Bulgaria. A lot of people are probably scratching their head saying, Joel, why are you telling me about Bulgaria? I think you'll find out it's really fascinating. It's now fully integrated into Western Europe. It's a little bit cheaper than some of the other immediate citizenship programs. You can get your citizenship there in about 1 year. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow for another edition of the Global Wealth Fortress Report. Until then, I wish you health, I wish you happiness, and I wish you a wealth that can't be taken by others. See you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining Joel Nagel and the Global Wealth Fortress Report, a whole new approach to asset protection and estate planning, so that now you can live the good life at a great price, where the sun never sets on your financial fortress.